Trump has made it clear what he intends to do with his administration. He has stocked his entire cabinet and his entire government with billionaires, and they have made clear that their plans are to strip away every social program that we have won, every right that we have won, everything that we have won in the entire past history of our struggle. The ridiculously named but incredibly nefarious Department of Government Efficiency is entirely designed to destroy everything, to take away everything, every bit of access to health care, every bit of access to unemployment, to jobs, to wages, everything we have won. They want to destroy it because they want to drain everything from us, to bleed us dry.
Shame.
They don't feel shame. They will never feel shame. Whenever you want to shout shame, I want you to shout instead, shut them down! Damn right, because that's what they need to feel is fear. We need to shut them down.
That's right.
And the way that Trump and his fellow billionaires plan to do this is by using immigrants, trans people, and others as scapegoats. They're adept at spreading lies throughout the working class, and unfortunately they're very, very good at it. They've completely poisoned the minds of millions of people because all of these workers out here who aren't at this protest, they've never heard anything different. They've never been told that immigrants aren't their enemies, that trans people aren't their enemies, that the real enemy is the billionaires, that the real enemy is the capitalist class. They don't get to hear that because all of the news they have access to is mainstream media owned by the billionaires, social media owned by the billionaires, which we can see very clearly. They acted to destroy TikTok entirely because they could not control it and suppress the truth. And we can see clearly from what Elon Musk has done with Twitter that they can turn this their will very easily. We cannot rely just on social media, and we certainly can't rely on the mainstream media to bring the truth to workers. We have to do that ourselves.
That's right.
It's not going to be an easy road. It's going to be even more difficult under Trump because he is a fascist, and that's what fascists do. They bring terror to those who speak the truth. But we have to stand up against that, and we cannot do it alone. We're going to have to work with each other. We're going to have to unite every progressive movement this country has, and we are going to have to focus. There should be no progressive movement in this country that is not intent on bringing the truth to workers. That is what we need to do to fight back, because that is what the capitalists fear most, is an awakened working class. Is a working class who knows who their real enemy is. Once we know that we all have a common enemy, whether we're trans, whether we're queer, whether we're men or women, whether we're immigrants, whether we're Palestinian, whether we're anyone in this country who is oppressed, whether we are any kind of worker in this country, we all have a common enemy. And once we realize that, our path becomes completely clear. Some years ago, there was an attempt at a rail workers' strike, and Congress worked very quickly to shut that down and destroy it, because that is what they fear most, is the workers taking power into their own hands. They knew that a rail strike would shut down this country. That tells us exactly what we need to do and who we need to be reaching out to. There are workers in this country working in industries that if they radicalized, if they had class consciousness, if they saw the truth, and they decided to shut it down, it would be shut down. That's where we need to work. That's what we need to do. And we can't sit back and say, well, those workers, they're transphobic. I can't talk to them. I'm going to talk to them. Maybe they won't get it at first, but I'm going to do the work to talk to them. Because if I don't talk to them, the fascists will. If I don't talk to them, I'm doomed. Not us, I'm doomed. It's in my interest to fight back and speak to people. So I'm going to do it. And it's in all of our interest to talk, to speak up and talk to people who might not get it yet. If we don't do it, who is? We can't trust them to Google it. Google's owned by billionaires. So we have to do the work to reach out to the workers. We have to do the work to explain to them that these attacks on immigrants are a lie. They're scapegoating immigrants. drive down wages, to distract you from what they're taking from you, and it's hurting you. It's hurting you even if you're not an immigrant. It's hurting you even if you're not trans. It's hurting you even if you're not Palestinian. All those billions of dollars sent to Israel could have funded so many great things here. Instead, they stole from us to murder people across seas. It's in our interest. That's what we need to tell them. It's in their interest to fight back. Once the workers are awake, nothing will be able to stop us. But we're not going to be able to do this all by ourselves. We're going to have to set aside our differences amongst ourselves. We can't be sectarian. We can't say, well, I'm not going to work with them. They pissed me off last week. No, we're going to have to work together on this. We're going to have to do this together.
Yeah.
Every progressive movement in this country, every progressive organization in this country should be together on this. That is how we fight fascism. When we are united, when we have reached the workers, nothing will stop us. So we're going to have to get out there. We're going to have to do the hard work to do it. We're going to have to go door to door if we need to. We can't. There's too much danger. It's too risky. We have genocides. We have wars. We have the military-industrial complex that is sucking everything out of us, that has taken over every industry out there. We have these technology billionaires who are openly deciding to replace us with AI. We have climate change, which between the fires in California and the hurricanes here, as was mentioned earlier, is killing us rapidly. We have the pandemic, which is still going on and nobody's done anything about. We are being killed by the millions. We have to get our shit together and fight back. It has never been more urgent. Never been more urgent for us to do the hard work. So let's get to it.